Hey guys, it's me Carly coming at you with another video, and I want to talk about the DCTV Heroverse, Flash, Arrow, and Black Lightning. I won't get too much into Legends or Titans because I haven't watched either of those shows in a while. I mean Legends, I haven't watched Legends in a while because I kind of just checked out of that show. But I do want to watch Titans, and when I finally do get around to watching it, I do plan on making a video. So I don't know when that will be. Don't count on it being anytime soon. But I am telling you, I will do a video on Titans. But just from what I've seen, it looks like a pretty kick-ass show. There's lots of female dynamics. Anna Diop is killing it as Corey. And Dick Corey look really great together. And I'm really glad that Anna Diop is getting the support she deserves from her castmates. Which she deserves that support, especially as a black female actress. So, thank you to castmates, Flashcast. Please take notes. Okay, so anyways, the first thing I want to discuss are the parallels between Caitlyn, Khalil, and Earth 2 Laurel. And how their storylines kind of parallel each other. I think Black Lightning, Khalil does deserve a redemption arc, despite the things he's done, because let's think about this. How did he end up in this situation? He was shot in a peaceful protest. He was paralyzed from the waist down and couldn't run track anymore, and he did everything right up until he got shot, because he became paralyzed and was bitter and sad. And this guy, Tobias Whale, shows up, even though Tobias Whale is responsible for putting Khalil in the wheelchair. But Khalil doesn't know this at the time. And Tobias Whale, who's shady as hell, because, he's a frickin' crime lord, comes in, tells Khalil, and promises him all of these good things. So Tobias uses money. Tobias is rich, has money, and he buys Khalil all these nice things, which Tobias is a frickin', he has the makings to be a child predator, and I don't, say that to be, crapping on anyone who's gone through that, but Tobias really does have the makings to be a predator, a minor predator, because he manipulates Khalil into working with him, because he offers Khalil the chance to walk, which, I mean, and I don't mean to, disrespect the paraplegic community or anything, but if given the chance to walk again, wouldn't you take it? So Khalil, who was paralyzed, took the implant, the special spinal cord implant that helps him walk, run, and do all of these super cool things. And he's under Tobias's thumb and has to attack the school or do what Tobias says, or Tobias is going to kill him. And we've seen Tobias kill Lala for not doing what he says. And Tobias is really scary. So Khalil is kind of stuck in this weird position where he doesn't want to be evil. He doesn't want to be I don't know if he wants to be a hero or anything, but he doesn't want to be under the rule of Tobias's thumb. And to me, he's a more sympathetic person than, say, Caitlin. I mean, or even Katie, or even Laurel, Earth 2 Laurel. And yes, I do find her sympathetic. But with Khalil's situation, a young teenage boy, he was manipulated, and was promised things that would better his life. But in hindsight, it ended up making his life worse. He's on the run from the cops. His mom is well, I don't know if he's on the run from the cops. And his mom is out looking for him. And he's attacked the school. And Jennifer is really mad at him. Well, not anymore, because she just saved him and is running away with him. So, I mean, I know Painkiller is a villain. But, like, I hope they do have another fight. Tobias and Khalil. Or they make Khalil into an anti-hero who sometimes works with the hero and who sometimes is, who is mainly a villain. I don't know what they'll do with Khalil, but I don't want him and Jennifer back together. But I have a feeling Jennifer is about to lose her virginity, and so is Khalil to each other. I still hope that would happen, but now I don't hope because of the personality change that Khalil's gone through. But Khalil is just a boy. Khalil is a teenage boy, and he needs to get out from under Tobias. Well, because he's just someone who needs help, and he goes to Jennifer, and I know that Jennifer is like someone he can trust, but he really just needs help. Okay. On to Black Siren. Redemption. Black Siren has one of the better redemption arcs I have seen. And I'm not just saying that because I like her, because I do, but her redemption arc, it's her making progress to do the right thing now. I mean, yes, she still has things to atone for, which she'll probably never be able to atone for. Sorry, I was moving my computer. But unlike Caitlin, she has apologized to the victim she has affected most, which is Tina Boland, or Dynatrix, or whatever. And she's given a sincere, genuine apology. She is making she's putting in effort to change, no matter how hard it gets. I mean, well, she almost did relapse back to her evil ways. And even told Felicity, like, hey, I was like you once, and if we're gonna do this, you better prepare to be ruthless. And I wished about being ruthless and killing people, and Black Siren or / Earth 2 Laurel's like, I wish somebody would have warned me before I got blood all over my hands, because it was basically once you let the darkness in, it never comes out, or something like that. So I think they were doing a great job with Black Siren's redemption arc, and she's just making great progress. And Katie Cassidy is a phenomenal actress. Like, she brings something to the show that I don't feel the other actors or actresses do. And I also think that there is this weird correlation. Well, not weird, but you know what I mean. Well, I hope you know what I mean. But there is this correlation that when Earth 1 Laurel was on Team Arrow and was on the show, all of a sudden, these female dynamics were amazing. Well, not amazing, because I don't want to give Arrow that much credit, but when she was on the show, there was so many positive female interactions. We had Moira and Laurel be close. We had Thea and Laurel be like sisters, and Laurel took care of Thea, and they developed a great bond, a great friendship that we don't see very often. We had Felicity telling Earth One Laurel that she had a light inside her that Sarah didn't have. We had Nyssa offering to train Laurel, and they became great friends, although they should have been more than friends in my opinion. They should totally make Laurel bisexual. I wish they would make Black Siren bisexual. And people are going to be like, Carly, that's not part of the comics. Well, because Arrow is so great at following the comics. No, Arrow sucks at following the comics already, so what's one more thing they can stray from the comics? I mean, in some comics, Black Canary is transgender, so make her bisexual, cowards. We had all of these wonderful, positive female dynamics, even between Samantha and Laurel. Samantha gave Laurel a sincere apology, which is probably the first time I've seen anyone who's wronged Laurel give Laurel an apology. So, all of these beautiful, wonderful female dynamics. But the moment you kill off Earth One Dinah Laurel Lance / Black Canary, suddenly we have a pissed off teenager. Well, okay, I mean, that has nothing to do with it, but we have Felicity being jealous again. We have no positive female dynamics at all. What is up with that? But then you bring in Black Siren. I mean, it took nearly 3 years for us to get a redemption arc for her, because we have been asking for that since she came onto the Flash Flash Season 2, Episode 22. We've been asking for a redemption arc for Black Siren since she came to the Flash. And now we're finally getting it. And she's making baby steps. And also, anyone else notice that the moment Black Siren joined Team Arrow and joined the good side, because she was no longer being manipulated by a man or whatever. I mean, she did make choices on her own accord, but she was no longer having to pay loyalty to Adrian Chase, because thank God he died. I mean, he was an awesome villain, don't get me wrong. And then we have her under the thumb of Kate and James, who saved her because she's loyal to people who save her. And I think Quentin took notice of that and tried to save Laurel. Tried to save the other Laurel as an homage, or not an homage, an apology to his daughter, his Earth One daughter. And then Diaz, for some odd reason, because, like, why does she have to be under the thumb of 3 villains to be, like, of 3 male villains? Why can't she could have just been her own villainess, because, I mean, Katie Cassidy is a strong character, or a strong actress, and Laura's a great character, and I didn't want to see her be manipulated by any more men. But now that they're all out of the way and gone, notice how notice that when she joins the team, Felicity, Tina, and Dinah, aka Black Siren, Dinah Laurel, all suddenly have great female dynamics, even though there is some tension there because of Laurel's past crimes. But there's still positive female dynamics. They're working together, and they've suddenly increased. I mean, I wish Thea was there, but I mean, I could write a whole list of ways to improve female dynamics. So yeah, Black Siren. Oh, and Black Siren also reminds me of Regina Mills, which she's getting a much better. Which Black Siren, in my opinion, is getting a much better redemption arc than Regina Mills got, because Regina Mills got a really shitty redemption arc. Now, moving on to Caitlin Snow and her redemption arc. Yeah, what redemption arc for Caitlin Snow / Killer Frost? There is no redemption arc. It's just, oh, I did something terrible, and I'm a bad person, and all I need to do is shed a few tears and give a half-assed apology, and the team welcomes me back. Because there's literally nothing I can do to make this team not love me. Despite the fact that in another timeline, I mutilated my best friend and disabled him for life. And then by freezing off his hands. And then I was the reason in the future for Iris being dead and Barry being a miserable person, grieving Iris. And Wally was in a wheelchair because of Savitar, because I worked with him, and now I'm locked in this Metasol. Okay, this is future Killer Frost. Okay, so season 3, because Caitlin's storyline, if you don't watch the show, I'm gonna get you up to speed. Initially in season 1, Caitlin was not going to have powers. Okay, I could have dealt with that. Fine. Season 2, they say, oh, Killer Frost is coming. Earth 1 Caitlin still doesn't have powers. It turns out her doppelganger on Earth 2 has powers. And they're pretty similar. I mean, okay, cool. And then when Barry comes back from Flashpoint, Caitlin suddenly has powers in season 3. And we think she got them due to the particle accelerator explosion. And she spends all of season 3 afraid of her powers simply because she saw what her Earth 2 doppelganger was like. Okay, fine, I get being afraid. But she only brought on Julian to Team Flash because, kind of out of pity, and because she thought she could use him to... She thought she could use him to help her get rid of her powers. And she, deceives him, kind of. Well, no, she full out deceives him. She steals the stone, part of the stone. Even though she saw what it did to Julian, it possessed him to do terrible things, and it was possessing Cisco. And she saw flat out that Cisco was being manipulated by the stone. So why would she keep it? And it got Wally hallucinating too. And Wally got vacuumed into the Speed Force as a result. So that's not cool either. But you steal the stone, you use Julian, you go to your mom, who you don't even like, for help, to help you get rid of your powers. Your mom does not understand your powers. Okay? And she says, the more that you use them, the more that your powers will manifest and grow. And then something happens. Caitlin Snow dies, gets killed by Kadabra or whatever, because she dies laughing with the boys. Julian... Oh, and by the way, Caitlin is given power dampening cuffs and a power dampening necklace. But when she has to use her powers to go save Barry, she's like, I can't. It's too dangerous. I don't want to use my powers. I don't want to become evil. It's like, well, girl, either that or your friend, your best friend, is going to die. Yeah, and I put air quotes around friend, and I use the term best friend quite loosely. And then when Iris is on the table wiggling like a pot, is writhing in pain and is wiggling on the table, about to die and turn into a pile of sand, you are like, I can't, even if I wanted to, in regards to freezing her arm. Like, you saw what Yorkin's powers do to people. I think I said his name right. Sorry if I mispronounced that. You saw a body in a body bag disintegrate right before your eyes, because that's how fast he makes people decay. And you're over here being like, I can't freeze her arm. You're over here hesitating to freeze her arm, but as long as you don't have to use your powers, then you're okay with letting Iris be a pile of sand, because you're a piece of shit, friend, and you suck. Sorry, but that just made me really annoyed. But then you have the audacity. You didn't have a problem helping Barry fake his death, and you only went to Earth 2 because of Grodd. You didn't go because you were nice or wanted to help or anything. Well, at the time you were, but you went basically for Grodd because he was kind to you, and you freeze the mirror when nobody was looking. Okay, fine, whatever, blah. But, like, you hesitated to save Barry and Iris? Okay, so anyways, when you're about to die, you can regenerate. After surgery, Caitlin basically dies, I guess, because we can't seem to decide if Caitlin Snow and Killer Frost are the same person, even though I'm convinced they are. Julian rips the necklace off, and you get up from the table trying to... You become full-blown Killer Frost, and you get up from the table trying to kill Cisco and Julian, which I don't know why. You try killing your friends for no reason. You join with Savitar and try to kill the team. But prior to this, you want your powers gone so badly that you go on a rampage through the city. This is all during season 3, after she tried to help have Iris killed and is partially responsible for why HR is dead. And you don't feel 1 ounce of remorse. All you get is nobody shades you. You show up at the funeral like, oh, I'm sorry, in a black trench coat, sunglasses, and that weird wig that you are Killer Frost. After coming down from working with the villain, you give a half-assed apology and you're like, I gotta go find myself. I'm not Killer Frost, and I'm not Caitlin Snow, I'm just Caitlin. Well, she's still wearing the blonde Killer Frost wig, and Cisco's like, come back to the team, we'll try and help you. And it's like, really? Really? You spent... And they act as if nothing happened. She goes away, finds herself, only to get caught up in season 4 to work at a bar. She works for a human trafficker. She agrees to let Killer Frost out for muscle in exchange for technology that is supposed to suppress Killer Frost. And it's all for a placebo. And now, when she does lose her powers in season 4, she goes through great lengths to try and get them back, which almost involves getting Cynthia killed because she was almost strangled to death, and it involves her saying, hey, if Amunet helped me, Killer Frost would do another job for her. Okay. You know what kind of person Amunet is. You know what kind of things Amunet has done. You've witnessed firsthand the kind of things Amunet does to people. she would rather work with a human trafficker. But when Iris goes out of her way and is like, Caitlin, I don't think you should do that again. You could have really gotten yourself killed. And all Caitlin can reply with is, I have to get her back. Not, you're right, I was stupid. I'm really sorry. I'm going to try and do better. Not, I don't know what I was thinking. We can work together. No, it's, I have to get her back. And Iris is like, we will. No, I will. I'm like, and then, so season 3, the back half of season 3, she spends her time doing these terrible things, teaming up with the villain and trying to help have Iris killed. She kidnaps Cecile and holds an icicle to her throat and almost kills Cisco with an icicle, but Cynthia blocks it at the last minute. She almost kills Tracy Brand with an icicle, but Barry blocks it at the last minute. So Caitlin would have killed someone if her icicles weren't blocked at the last minute, and she attempted to kill Cisco 3 times. And Cisco was just like, oh, just come back to the team. We love you, blah, blah. There's nothing you can do blah, to make us not love you, even though you tried to kill me. And then season 5 rolls around, and we learn that Killer Frost has apparently always been part of Caitlin since she was a little girl. We've learned that, actually, I think it was towards the end of season 4, we learned that the technology was a placebo. We learned that Killer Frost has always been part of Caitlin since she was a little girl, and that her dad experimented on her. Season 5, we learn her dad is alive, the icicle, which, by the way, that episode tanked and was shit because it was a Caitlyn-centered episode, and apparently I've noticed that Caitlyn-centered episodes do not do well, and Danielle Panabaker is a mediocre actress and a white feminist, just like Caitlyn Snow. And, well, that has nothing to do with why the episode tanked, but Danielle Panabaker is a mediocre actress, and nobody gives a shit about Caitlyn unless she is standing anywhere near Barry. Like, let's just be honest about that, okay? Like, really, nobody cares about Caitlyn, and Caitlyn did not even trend when it was an episode centered around her. But you know who did trend? Jessica Parker Kennedy / Nora XS West Allen, Iris Ann West Allen / Candace Patton, and Cecile Horton / Danielle Nicolette. And Iris and Nora XS got like 5 minutes of screen time, mother-daughter bonding time. And Cecile got like 2 minutes of screen time. And they still outtrended Caitlyn / Danielle. And the only time that Caitlyn is trending is when she's standing near Barry or when she's matching Barry. That is literally like the only time Caitlyn trends. Now tell me, what is wrong with that? And yeah, I put some of the blame on Danielle because she baited a racist fan base, tried to undermine Candace, and now she is stuck with fans who really don't give a shit about her character. And I don't feel bad about it. But anyways, now we're on season 5. It's been we have not gotten an apology from Caitlyn to Iris. We have not gotten an apology from Caitlyn to Cecile or an apology from Caitlyn to Cynthia. Caitlyn has not apologized to any of the females, but she made sure to apologize to the men. And people refute this by saying, oh, well, she apologized to Joe and she apologized to the guys on the team or something. That should cover it. It's like, that doesn't cover it. and I wrote about this on my Tumblr, it doesn't cover it at all. You have to apologize to the person most affected, which was Iris. And the fact that Caitlyn has not given an apology to Iris, Cecile, or Cynthia, and the fact that she just keeps getting told she's a good person, despite doing whatever she wants and going about things by herself, which, by the way, has not worked. She still gets told she's a good person. Like, you can't be a good person or even try to make amends with people if there's not an apology, a sincere apology. And it's just so disrespectful. Oh, and Caitlin's just shady as hell towards Iris. Oh, she talks a lot, or she makes certain faces whenever Iris is insulted, or she sorry, I'm pausing for a moment. Or she just doesn't do anything to atone. And yet Cisco, who should be the last person who is loyal to her, is still loyal to her, still helps her, and all Caitlyn does, she has taken him for granted. She has not thanked him, not apologized for trying to kill him 3 times, and why is she still on the team? And why was she allowed at Thanksgiving dinner? And why is she allowed in the West Allen home? Like, literal, like, why? Why is she allowed inside their house? Like, I don't want her coming to my house after she attempted to kill me or someone I care about. After she's trafficked people. Why is she still a doctor? Someone please strip her of her medical license, because she sucks. Really terrible. And Danielle Panabaker is just a mediocre actress. And you already know how I feel about her, but ugh. So, no. Caitlyn, by far, has the worst redemption arc. Khalil does deserve a redemption arc, or deserves to be an anti-hero, or whatever. And Dinah Laurel Lance from Earth 2 / Black Siren Canary probably has one of the better redemption arcs that I've seen on TV, because ugh. Okay. Now for female dynamics on these TV shows. Between Flash and Black Lightning, no, not Black Lightning, Flash and Arrow, who has the better female dynamics as of right now? As much as I hate Arrow, and we all know that Arrow is a misogynistic show and racist show. Arrow, I gotta give props to Arrow, because Arrow has way better female dynamics than what Flash is showing me. I mean, Flash is getting better because, as I said, when Laurel was on the show, when Katie Cassidy was on the show for 4 seasons, the female dynamics were pretty positive. I mean, she showed kindness to Helena, had a great sisterly bond with Thea, was close with Moira before Moira died, unfortunately. Was really great friends with Felicity, even did a little okay with Sarah, even though I just Sarah Lance hate her. But anyways, like when Dinah Laurel Lance was on the show, the OG Dinah Laurel Lance, the female dynamics were much better than what they were. And then season 5 and 6, when she wasn't on the good side, it was just meh, female dynamics. And then finally, she's getting that redemption arc she deserves, and suddenly female dynamics improve. I mean, we have Felicity, Tina, and Dinah, Laurel, Lance working together, so I mean, that's pretty awesome. That's cool. I mean, I know there's yes, I know there is tension, but the female dynamics did improve once Black Siren joined the good side. Black Canary Siren joined the good side. Joined Team Arrow. All of a sudden, we have better female dynamics, and it's partly because I think it's because Oliver's in jail or away. Which, just let him stay in jail because he sucks, or just kill him off because he frickin' sucks. Ugh, I hate him so much. And they're not related to each other, which is cool, even fun, even more fun. And I went into a rant on why I think Felicity is a terrible feminist. So if you want to go check that out, go ahead and check that out, because this video is getting quite long, and feel free to take a break and go check out my Felicity is a terrible feminist video. Okay. So Arrow, I'm going to give you props. You're better than Flash at this. And it has something to do with Mark Guggenheim being fired and Katie Cassidy being back on the show as now a good guy. At least that's what I think, because it's not a coincidence. Okay, anyways, now the Flash and their odd female dynamics. The only female dynamics that I've seen Iris have with other women is, yeah, I'll say it. Before Felicity interrupted her wedding and stole Iris's wedding, Felicity and Iris had a positive female dynamic when she was on the show. Or when she crosses over Linda, and Iris had a great positive female dynamic back in season 2. Even though if it was for a short time, it was really nice. And then when Marlize and Iris were done being enemies, they hugged, and they could have had a positive female dynamic. Even the short, brief interactions of Jess and Iris, great Jessie and Iris, great positive female dynamics. And Caitlyn seems to have good female dynamics with white women in STEM. Yeah, I said what I said. But we have 2 female co-stars on the show. We started with 2. We could have built a Caitlyn and Iris friendship. They could have been great friends. And Iris could have had a female friend, even if she did meet her through Barry. But no. Instead, and yes, I'm going to put this on Danielle again, we get Danielle baiting a racist crack ship. We get Danielle baiting a racist fan base. We get her trying to erase Candace from the lead. And we don't see Danielle's support. I don't see, personally, Danielle supporting Candace Patton at all. I haven't seen it in 5 years, and I don't expect to see it now. And Caitlin Snow wasn't even supposed to be played by Danielle Panabaker. She was supposed to be played by someone old enough to be the team's mother, and she was supposed to be Harrison Wells' love interest. And Danielle didn't even have to audition for the job, because she got the job because she was friends with one of the producers. So, yeah. And her constantly trying to undermine what Candace does on the show is just so disrespectful and annoying and rude. I can't stand it. It's just, and that's why I think, I mean, they've had some scenes together, and it's only when they're talking about boys. Like, let's have a deeper meaning than that. But now I feel like it has gotten to the point where Caitlyn and Iris don't even have alone scenes together. Because I think it's because of Danielle's shady behavior. And we could have had Cynthia and Iris develop a friendship. But no, Cynthia was just there to be Cisco's love interest. I mean, she was a cool character. And she got somewhat flushed out. But I wanted more. I would have been okay if Linda Park came back as Dr. Light. But no. We barely have any good interactions for females on this show. And I honestly believe that if Central City was closer to Freeland, or if it was closer to National City, then it would be a much better female dynamic show, because from what I've seen, Nefefsa and Candace look really great together, and they seem to be good friends, and Anna and Iris, and they seem to understand each other because they're both black actresses and they're kind of the leads on their show, and they understand what they're going through. And then Melissa Benoist and Candace Patton seem to be good friends. They seem to have great chemistry together. I'll even take Sarah Lance. Even though I would have taken Katie Lotz as another character and let her be friends with Iris, because they seem to be great friends. Although now I'm wondering, because Katie Lotz didn't defend Candace over that whole She Authority debacle. But no, instead we're left with mediocre female dynamics on The Flash, because But Jessica Parker Kennedy and Candace Patton seem to have great chemistry, great mother-daughter chemistry, so that's pretty cool. So I'm happy that they're getting to spend more time together, although I really need Nora to, I'm glad that Nora is realizing that her being a disrespectful little shit to Iris is unacceptable, and I'm glad that she is admitting the core of where her anger is coming from, so yeah. Now moving on to Black Lightning. Yeah, Black Lightning has way better female dynamics already. Not just especially between black women and just women of color in general, so it's pretty cool. And the mother-daughter relationships between Lynn and her daughters are so great. And they're really clearly loving parents. But I feel really bad for Jennifer right now. And then Anissa and Jennifer, best sister bond in the CW verse. They're amazing actresses. Nefefsa and China Ann McClain really look like sisters if they have the right makeup on. And they're doing great together as sisters, and I love their relationship. I mean, yes, they argue like real sisters, and Jennifer steals Anissa's clothes like a real little sister would. So that's pretty awesome. And then we have Thunder Grace on the rise. Woot woot! Although I was like, please work out your angst. Please work through your angst, because I want to see a great, awesome power couple, figuratively and literally, pair up. And the fact that Grace and Anissa seem to be on good terms, pretty cool. And I hope they come clean to each other about their powers. And Jennifer has a friend, a best friend who is not related to her, which is what we need more of, because when you're on a predominantly white show and you're a black character, I notice like the only black characters being used are normally related, and Supergirl had that, but then you got rid of Megan Moore's, and you have no idea what you're doing with Jimmy, because Jimmy is kind of a terribly written character, even though I love him, but he's not a very well written character. And then John Jones, who you sideline, which I really don't know why, because he's like Martian Manhunter, doy. So he's awesome. I really gotta stop doing that. But yeah. So as far as redemption arcs go, Black Siren is winning. Female dynamics. Like the best female dynamics so far go to Black Lightning. And then Flash, I guess, just goes to the best relationship ever. But anyways, these are my thoughts. Those were my thoughts on Khalil, Dinah Laurel Lance, and Caitlin Snow, Flash, Black Lightning, and Arrow. So anyways, if you guys like this video, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, and leave suggestions, and have a good one.